But I'm glad we've got big matches to look forward to rather than qualifiers this summer. I think that would have been even more challenging to get squad together, and we've got something really exciting to look forward to.
And you said it's been an incredible last 2 weeks for English football. You think back over the last 12 months from an international point of view as well. How would you reflect on the last year, and what does it say as far as you're concerned about the state of the English game?
Well, I think I feel we've improved as a team. I think you've always got to answer questions. We came out of the World Cup on a real high, but we're also with some questions to answer, and we've answered some of those questions, and some of the other questions we've still got to go on and achieve. So we've managed to bring the age of the squad down even further. So we've blooded some exciting young players in that period. And now we're in a second semi-final in consecutive summers, which is something for everybody to look forward to. And, I'm excited for our fans. We want to keep that connection that has grown over the last year. I mean, Andy was telling me we're nearly sold out for September. So it kind of tells us the appeal of the team at the moment and the connection back with the public, which 12 months ago wasn't there. And we want that to continue.
Of the 27-man squad, 9 of them are going to be competing potentially in the Champions League final. When you were watching the 2 games, Liverpool obviously on the Tuesday and Tottenham on the Wednesday, what was your thought process when you realised that both were going to go through to the final?
Well, I didn't expect for Liverpool to do it. Anfield on those sorts of nights is an incredible place. So once they'd scored the first goal, I thought that had a real chance. But I didn't travel there thinking that they would win that game. But in the back of our minds, we've always had that feeling. We thought Tottenham would get through, and we thought Chelsea would get through. So we were already planning for there to be disjointed meetups. And if it hadn't been us, the Dutch would have had the same problem with Ajax. So that's the way the competition planned out. It's been incredible competition this year, having been in Paris when United won against all the odds as well, having been at one of the Manchester City Tottenham ties as well. There's been so many unexpected outcomes and narratives to the games that have been thrilling.
And finally from me, could there be a knock-on effect, particularly from the Ajax Tottenham game, from an international point of view, do you think, in terms of the mentality, both positive and negative?
No, I think every game is individual in its own right, and we would have to play extremely well. I think what we saw across those 2 legs is the talent in that Dutch team. Couple that with the players we know at Liverpool who've been such a big part of their success. So they really have re-emerged over the last year, and that's a really good test for us.
Gary Brown, beIN Sport. I was going to ask you exactly that, your assessment of that Ajax team, the quality that they have now in that national side, and wouldn't you just want to be able to have that many domestic players playing in one side at the top level here in England?
Well, we might have that with Spurs in terms of numbers, because Ajax have some good young Dutch players, but they also have some good players from other countries in their setup. Theirs is a unique model, really. They know where they are as a club. They develop players and they sell them on. And every so often they have outstanding teams that go on and do really well in European football as well. So it's phenomenal the way they develop players. And I love the mentality of the club and the ethos that they stand for. So, but from our point of view, we do still face this issue of number of English players. I mean, we've just finished the season now. I talked about it at the very start, and it's kind of played out as I thought, really. We've finished the season with 30% of the league eligible for us. So that is a continuing graph, and I could sit and say nothing about it because it's not going to affect me while I'm the England manager too much, or beyond where it is now. But I worry about subsequent England managers and how it will affect them. So I have to take a view for the greater good, in that we still have to keep looking at this, and we still have to keep developing the right players, but finding solutions for them to break into the first teams, because where does that graph stop? That would be the concern.
How useful a scouting mission was that, though? Those two matches between Tottenham, so many of your players, and that style against Ajax with this great quality that's now coming through.
Yeah, very much so. I mean, we were always watching the games of our opponents, but to be able to see some of their key players so closely was very helpful. And you can see why they are linked with such big moves, and one of them is moving on. But also we have some very exciting players who are also coveted by some of Europe's biggest clubs, and we must never forget that. We've got players that we're excited about and that we love working with. We now go into these sorts of games feeling that we're a match for any team that we play, and we don't go in with any arrogance, but we know that we can give everybody in the world a game.
You've talked a lot about players using their own thought, competing under pressure, thinking under pressure. How impressed were you with that corner from Trent Alexander-Arnold as the individual he is, but also the progress so many players are making, England players are making in this game? Yeah,
it was an incredible moment, really, in such a frenzied atmosphere and such a highly charged game to have the presence of mind and the speed of thought and the quality of delivery to do what he did. And again, that's why we want our players in those environments, because that's what links closely as anything to the big matches that we've been in recently and that we will go into in the future. So the more of those experiences, the better.
Also, two extremes, got the Football Writers Player of the Year in Raheem Sterling and the Player of the Year in Virgil van Dijk, both becoming head-to-head against each other after very testing seasons. Can you tell us how impressed you've been with both of their campaigns this season?
Yeah, I think, Raheem I've spoken a lot about. I couldn't speak highly enough about how he's taken on the challenge that he has in his own team to get in the team. If you do that, that's an achievement in itself, frankly. His performances have been consistently outstanding, regularly scoring goals, regularly affecting big matches, scoring important goals in matches that have got them over the line. And with us, real breakthrough in Spain with his goals in Spain that seemed to lift so much from his shoulders, and back that up so positively in March with his performances and his goals then. So, but I know he'll want the next trophy. I know his mindset is there's two that are done. He's got another one this Saturday, another big game for some of our players. And then there's an opportunity for a final trophy of the season with us. And that's the great thing that winning breeds. You have the desire to go and do it again, or most people do, and definitely the top ones do. And he's definitely in that bracket.
Virgil van Dijk.
Yeah, we've got to find a way around him, haven't we? I remember watching him at Celtic. I was amazed that he didn't move straight to one of the big clubs in England, because I thought he was an outstanding player as soon as I saw him. Has great composure. He's a giant in their defence for Liverpool. So he has had a huge impact on what's been a brilliant season for them, as of others. He's a player that we have to be and are well aware of.
When you came in to this job, you said the one thing that concerned you, that you wanted to break down, was this sort of cliques between clubs. How nice was it to hear then from Raheem Sterling, ahead of a vital weekend that would decide the Premier League, that he was excited for his England teammates in that Liverpool side, that they'd done so well in the Champions League, and that he'd sent a message to Trent Alexander-Arnold to congratulate him? That
was brilliant. I'm not sure that's going to exist between Spurs and Liverpool over the next couple of weeks, but that I think is going to be a challenge for us, because they are a close group. They are a group of players that get on brilliantly. But what's clear is that these clubs now are going to clash in big matches, and we've got to make sure that we handle that well as a group, and we make sure that we always bring them back to when we're with England, we talk about the things that make the difference. We've done that really well, and they've got to always park that rivalry and that intense rivalry that's going to grow and make sure that we keep what's made us powerful over the last period of time as an England team.
Okay, give one more before we finish with Dan from our TV.
It is Mental Health Awareness Week this week. We've already heard from Prince William yesterday, and we've heard a lot from Danny Rose since the unfortunate scenes in Montenegro and the racism targeted at the players. How proud are you of the way Danny Rose is speaking out for many, and how are the team coping with that, coming back into this environment again? Are you aware of that after the way they all left the England camp?
Yeah, we're very conscious of it. I mean, I've spent a fair bit of time speaking with Raheem, Danny, Callum in particular after that, and we went through a long process with all of our staff, and we'll pick that up with the players again, because I think we all went through something that is important that we discuss. My priority over that period was the well-being of my players, and I hope, and I feel from what they've told me that they feel well supported, and that in terms of the care, they know where we stand, and they know that we're there for them. So Danny has also spoken brilliantly about the mental health aspect, and obviously we launched that charity partnership with the Duke of Cambridge yesterday. So I think that's also an important topic, not just in football but across society really, and hopefully that there will be a lot of people sitting at home thinking it's just them, and it isn't just them, and it affects a huge percentage of the population, I would say.
Gareth, Dan from ITV. Gareth, just to settle the debate, which was the better comeback, Liverpool or Spurs?
I don't think it matters really. I think they were different in the tactical approaches. They were different in the way that Liverpool had to be perfect for the full 90 minutes really to achieve what they did. But both were commendable in their own ways, and brilliant achievements by the two managers to get to have had the season that Liverpool have had, League and Cup, when I did hear some people say they should get knocked out of the Champions League. So, and I remember Jurgen saying, "Why would we do that?" And that's come to pass for him, and Maurizio as well. With all of the challenges they've had as a club and moving stadium, that's probably, in the end, they probably got the move just at the right time to get the energy that provided, in particular for that game with Manchester City. So, brilliant achievement by both of them, and we wish them both well. You can't, I can sit on the fence royally, but it will be a fantastic game to be watching.